Game engines have two types of skyboxes: boxes and spheres. The first type of skybox is used in all Source Engine games. We made a video about such a skybox, and now it's time for the spheres.
But before we start, we need to list the disadvantages of the spherical skybox for the Source Engine. Such a skybox is a 3D model, which means that you will have to use a huge area of the map to place it. At the same time, we must not forget that the 3D model must be located inside the surface geometry. In alternative, we smell SkyDome inside a 3D skybox. But there is another problem ahead of you. The model can't use the sky shader, so moving around the map the player is able to notice how he approaches the edge of the spherical skybox. You can minimize the effect by increasing the size of the model or the zoom of the sky camera entity.
Let's start. SkySphere, cheap and angry. First, you need to select and create a texture. Ideally, we need to use a seamless panoramic image. The maximum allowed size for the engine is 4096 pixels. That is, if your canvas is of high resolution, it has to be scaled. After the VTF is created, you need to write a VMT file. Pay attention to the shader. It is necessary so that the matte lighting does not affect the texture display. You can also add the no fog command, so that the fog does not block the visibility of the 3D model. Modeling in Blender.
Yes, you forced me to descend from the heavens of 3D Max to the land of a sinful Blender. Since this is my first video in this editor, you should immediately install two important plugins for working with Source Engine models. The first plugin allows you to upload third-party SMD models to the editor. The second plugin will allow you to export models from the editor directly to the game, automatically creating a QC file and compiling the model. Links to both plugins will be available under this video.
Let's remove the excess from the 3D scene and add the sphere model. On the right side of the screen you can specify the dimensions of the model. For example, I will specify 32 and all axes. This number is equal to 64 units, then converting to source. You need to make a scan and apply a texture. Go to the UV Editing tab and upload the image. Since we are working with the sphere, no additional actions are needed now. Go to the Shading tab and create a new material. After each, reload the image like this and connect the color and base color of the material. Go back to the Modeling tab and turn on the texture rendering like this. We are almost finished. It remains to make sure that the texture is not on the sphere but inside it. We switch to the model editing mode. Select it. Mesh, Normals, Flip. Oh, I almost forgot we need to assign the name of the material. It must be the same as the name of your VTF texture. We are ready for export. Here we find the arrow and the Source OPS plugin. Then you first configure the program. You need to specify a game your model is made for. Specify the paths to the bin, Models RC, Models, Map RC, folders, and select the type of a SMD mesh. Here you need to specify the folder and the name of the future model, as well as add a list a reference blank, that is, our sphere. The next step. If you check the box here, your model will be prop static, but for the SkySphere we only need prop dynamic. It remains only to specify the name of the folder, there the texture will be located. And here you can add a bunch of skins to change the skybox in the game, through a trigger as one of the main purposes of the sphere. The main thing is that the scans and the resolution of your texture should match. Then everything is ready. You can either click here and the program will automatically compile the model, or in turn create a manual SMD, QC and compile the model. The source files can be opened by clicking here. You can view the finished model through the model viewer here. If none of these buttons work for you, most likely you haven't correctly configured the folder paths in the first tab. And if it works, then the go-to Valve hammer. We place a 3D skybox and the model under the main map. After that, we compile and test. Easy! Maybe I did something wrong in this video, but I do not argue. I will be happy to read your criticism. Maybe it will help others to find answers to their questions.
And we are going back to Blender. It remains to make a SkyDome model that is a hemisphere if you need it. In the first example, the texture had two halves, the upper and lower. But since the lower half of the sphere will no longer be visible, you can crop the image for the sake of economy. We load the texture in UV editing and assign in the setting tab. In order not to forget, we immediately give the correct name to the material. Now you need to cut out the unnecessary faces of model. Edit mode, face selection. We need to select the faces and delete them. After the hemisphere is ready, don't forget to reflect the normals. Again we go to Heavy Editing tab. Select the desired one and simply stretch it as we need. Everything is ready. The results are in front of your eyes. Finally, I want to show another example. Suddenly, you have such a texture from the SkySphere. Upload it to the editor, then select the hemisphere and perform the unwrap operation. You will only have to adjust the dimensions and the model is ready. I hope our video is useful. Subscribe to our project in Boosty, Patreon and Discord channel if you want to know more about the search engine. And we say, удачи, тамадачи!